He's known as the Godfather of Cologne, a man who allegedly plotted assassinations from behind prison bars, a criminal so powerful that even state prosecutors fled. This is the story of Necati Neco Arabaci, perhaps the most brutal president the Hells Angels ever saw. Stay with me. By the end, you'll wonder, how does a man defeat law, exile, and justice itself, and still walk free? Because this isn't just a gangster story, it's a blueprint for power. A man who turned a motorcycle club into an empire, and fear into currency. His enemies call him ruthless. His followers call him a legend. But one question still echoes through Europe's underworld. How did Necati Arabaci rise so high, and why hasn't anyone been able to bring him down? The making of Neco. Every king needs a kingdom, and every king starts in the shadows. Necati Arabaci, born February 14, 1972 in Cologne, West Germany, is the son of Turkish immigrants. In the 1990s, he moved as a bouncer in Cologne's nightclubs, building connections in the underworld, his muscle in the back rooms, his influence in whispered deals. He soon extended his reach into the red light districts, backing and controlling bouncers, brothels, nightclubs. Eventually, he became a behind-the-scenes king, collecting millions in extortion and brothel profits. By 1999, he had a front as a greengrocer, masking his deeper operations. His empire spanned Cologne's Kölner Ringe, the nightlife district, the Rhine-Ruhr region, and even brothels in Mallorca. He became known by the nickname Neco, and in the underworld as the Godfather of Cologne. But power attracts enemies, and that's when a ruthless leader reveals himself. The fall, arrest, plot, and conviction. In 2002, the net closed. German authorities arrested Arabaci on an array of charges: pimping, human trafficking, assault, extortion, weapons violations, and racketeering. In 2004, he confessed during the trial, or at least pled, and was sentenced to 9 years in prison. But inside those prison walls, Arabaci didn't fade. He plotted. Wiretaps and bugged visiting rooms captured schemes. He allegedly tried to hire an Albanian contract killer to eliminate the prosecutor in his case. Authorities applied for Sicherungsverwahrung, indefinite detention of a dangerous offender, to keep him locked even after his term. But in a twist, translation errors, misinterpretation of transcripts, saved him. He was cleared of the extra charges. In 2007, after serving just a fraction of his sentence, Arabaci was deported to Turkey. Germany imposed a condition: he must never return. The prosecutor he once targeted, Jürgen Botzum, left Germany, citing safety concerns. It looked like the fall of a king, rise from exile, rebuilding the empire. But great empires are resilient. From Turkey's shores, Neco re-emerged. In 2010, he reportedly attended a summit of Hells Angels leadership in Izmir, Turkey, and was appointed president of Hells Angels MC Nomads Turkey. By 2013, after Hells Angels Europe stalwart Frank Hannebuth was arrested in Spain, Arabaci's name was floated as a successor, possibly as Europe's head of the Hells Angels. Under the label Nomads Turkey, he allegedly directed operations deep into Germany, controlling networks, logistics, money, and influence across borders. Reports say that through proxies and alliances, even with gangs like the United Tribune, he consolidated power. His reach spread out of Turkey, back into Germany and Spain, into brothels, drug routes, money laundering rings. By some accounts, Arabaci's control was deeper than ever, with more resources than before. He cultivated a modern gangster aura: flashy cars, social media presence, viral videos. But with fame comes vulnerability. Wanted, but untouchable. In 2015, Spanish authorities issued a Europe-wide arrest warrant for Arabaci. Charges: membership in a criminal organization, extortion, drug trafficking, involvement in brothels. He could not be deported. Turkey does not turn over Turkish citizens. Though there have been arrests in Turkey. In 2018 and again in July 2020 in Izmir's Tezme, he was detained by local authorities. But each time he was released, often because of lack of evidence or legal barriers. As of late 2024 and into 2025, Arabaci has been spotted in Monaco, walking extravagantly, projecting power, despite his fugitive status in much of Europe. He seems untouchable, a gangster mixing with high society, flaunting wealth, videoing opulence. Law enforcement calls him a phantom, always one step ahead, hiding behind legal walls, but commanding an empire from afar. The brutality behind the title. Why is he called the most brutal? Because Arabaci's reign is less about romance and more about fear, violence, and ruthless control. Assassination plots while in prison, including the prosecutor plan, show he never relinquished power even behind bars. Brothel and human trafficking empire, he is tied to massive red light operations, exploiting women and directing vast profits. Extortion, protection rackets, weapons offenses. His network of enforcers kept businesses, clubs, and night scenes under his thumb. Battles within the Hells Angels in Germany. Tensions between Turkish charters under Arabaci and German ones erupted, leading to violent confrontations. Global ambition. He's been linked to drug routes and money laundering across Europe, possibly even importing heroin and laundering vast sums. He's not just a biker, he's a cartel, a gangster with biker colors, the projector of power across borders. Power struggles and internal wars. No empire is uncontested. Arabaci's ascent brought him rivals, enemies, and alliances. In Germany, Walter Schnitzel Walter B., head of the German Hells Angels, became a nemesis. In 2014, a rocker war started to surface. Turkish and German factions clashed. Arabaci was accused of excluding Germans from his parties, provoking a declaration of conflict in the biker world. His expansion into Germany raised alarms. Some charters in East Westphalia were reportedly set up under him. He was rumored to have ordered a raid on a Krefeld Hells Angels branch in a brother war. He reportedly sealed an alliance with United Tribune, a street gang, to strengthen his muscle. In sum, his reign hasn't been peaceful, but that's the language of power in the underworld. Myths, media, and social media fame. Part of Arabaci's fascination is his spectacle. He's as much a media figure as a criminal one. Videos on TikTok and Instagram flaunt him in expensive cars, surrounded by women in Monaco, mixing with elites. His alias, Godfather of Cologne, circulates across social media platforms, attracting admiration, infamy, fascination. Experts question this. Why glorify a criminal? Is it ego, branding, a shield of notoriety? To many followers, Neco is less a gangster, more a villainous anti-hero. But behind the flash is a man whose operations terrify. The latest twist, 2025. Arrest. After years of avoiding capture, in early October 2025, Turkish authorities finally moved. On October 5th, 2025, Necati Arabaci was arrested at Izmir's Adnan Menderes airport, returning from Serbia. He was detained by the Turkish organized crime police. Observers call this a stunning escalation. A man protected by legal walls, now physically in custody. Will he survive legal scrutiny in Turkey? Will foreign warrants catch up? Or will he vanish again? This arrest may mark a turning point. For the first time, the untouchable is touched. Legacy and questions. The brutal president, the untamed empire. So, is most brutal an exaggeration? Possibly. But the claim has power. Here's what we do know. Arabaci blends biker symbolism with cartel operations. He retains command even from afar. He survived imprisonment, prosecution, and extradition attempts. He inspired dread in both rival gangs and state prosecutors. He defied translation errors, legal loopholes, and cross-border jurisdiction. His legacy is ambiguous. Ruler, outlaw, myth. But in the underworld, his name commands respect or fear. What emerges is this: a man who weaponized the Hells Angels brand to build a European crime empire. Brutal, cunning, resilient. Necati Neco Arabaci, from a nightclub bouncer to the most feared biker crime lord in Europe. He plotted murders from prison, expanded his empire from exile, defied governments, and now, in 2025, re-enters custody. Will 2025 be his final chapter? Or merely another act in a saga of power, violence, and shadows? Thank you for watching. If you want to dig deeper into the world of outlaw bikers, mafia networks, or criminal legends, hit that like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments, which underworld figure should I profile next?